The time is 10 a.m. and this is WKYT Midmorning. A campus community is mourning the sudden loss of a college football player.
A Scott County judge today will decide if a man's murder charge should be thrown out.
And a man arrested for breaking into an elderly woman's apartment and raping her already was wanted on a similar charge.
This is WKYT Midmorning.
Good morning to you and welcome in. It's Tuesday, August 23rd, and we're glad you're with us here at Midmorning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. Okay, 2 days of delightful. Let's keep the streak going.
I wish we could. I think it's okay the rest of the week, it sounds like, but it's today is another one of those pick days.
And yesterday was really special.
It was. Let's check in with Micah right now, see what's happening.
The only difference from yesterday and today, the temperatures, and they'll be 2 to 3 degrees higher. That's it. But the humidity's still going to be down. It's actually a really good looking start to your morning as you're walking out the door. We're still at 66 in Somerset, London, Corbin, and also Jackson. Look at 60 degrees in Middlesboro. There is some fog out and about trying to get on out of here. It's 74, low to mid 70s already in central and northern zones. Now, as we travel throughout your afternoon, low humidity, 83 degrees, and we'll hold on to those temperatures today, but it gets much warmer as we head throughout your work week. Not only that, humidity is on the rise. That will give us some showers and thunderstorms. We'll get into that in just a few minutes.
All right, and first here at Midmorning on WKYT, a man is accused of breaking into the home of an elderly woman and raping her.
Jeffrey Cummings will be arraigned today on a long list of charges. They include charges from a similar crime last year. Cummings will face a judge this afternoon in Fayette District Court. Police say early Sunday morning, Cummings used a crowbar to break into a 78-year-old woman's apartment on Donnabrook Court, where he raped her. According to his arrest citation, Cummings then poured bleach on the victim as a way to try and destroy evidence. Police tell us a neighbor later found the elderly woman who had several injuries.
Court documents show there had been a warrant for Cummings' arrest following a similar crime last year, and in that case, police say he got into the victim's home through a window and raped her at knife point. He was charged with first-degree rape from that case. He's currently facing more than a dozen charges as he is heading to court now. The Georgetown College campus is mourning the death of a football player today. Investigators say Colson Mocklett died of a traumatic brain injury after falling at the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity house over the weekend. It was just a week and a half before the Tigers' first game of the year. Mocklett's football family is now dealing with the tremendous loss, worse than any, of course, thing that they would be facing on the field.
Been a very difficult 48 hours for the Tiger football team and Tiger campus community.
In an email to students, Georgetown College said counselors will be available in the campus chapel tonight for students and staff. And police say that Mocklett was trying to jump from a third-floor stairway to a second-floor landing when he fell. They're investigating whether alcohol was involved.
Today, a Scott County judge will decide if a man's murder charge should be thrown out. Police say Nicholas Willinger killed Sue Jones at her home in 2010. The retired school bus driver was beaten to death. Now, Willinger's attorney says a retired detective lost some of the evidence against his client. They're asking for the charges to be dismissed. A judge will hear that case this morning. We're learning more about a man who police say killed a Kentucky woman before dumping her body in a river. State police arrested Clark Smith Friday and charged him with murder, evidence tampering, and abuse of a corpse. They say he killed Kristen Edwards last month at his home in Cave City, then put her body in a bag and dumped it in the Green River. Smith has since pleaded not guilty, but police say he admitted to killing Edwards. The victim's mother says she can't understand why.
The fact that he was the last one that seen her alive, and we didn't get to hug her goodbye or, tell her we loved her, and just a lot of anger.
Family members say Smith lived next door to Edwards' grandmother, and they say he even let Edwards inside his home at times to use his computer. Police have not said what they think led to the murder.
The ATF is warning people in Harlan County to be on the lookout for hidden explosives. This comes after police arrested Mark Sawoff back in June. They say he put explosives in trail cameras in the Woodland Hills subdivision. 2 people have already been injured by the exploding cameras. Sawoff was shot and killed by a Lexington fire investigator earlier this month in Harlan County after police say he tried to grab an officer's gun. The ATF says it has found and dismantled 9 IEDs, but says more might still be out there. A man accused of killing a Rowan County toddler is expected to plead guilty today. Brian Gallagher is accused of murder and criminal abuse in connection with the 2009 death of 2-year-old Nathaniel Jones. Last week, Jones's mother, Tia Jones, entered an offered plea to 2 charges of second-degree criminal abuse. That offered plea means that Jones agrees that there is enough evidence to convict her, but does not admit any wrongdoing.
The family of a Jessamine County baby who police say was severely injured by her babysitter is pushing for a change in Kentucky law. Nicholasville police say Kylie's babysitter abused her. Her family says she suffered a skull fracture, brain damage, and broken ribs. The proposed law change would help families find babysitters who haven't been convicted of child abuse. State Representative Stan Lee says the petition makes sense to him. He says the legislature should take action as soon as the next General Assembly.
In Somerset, police arrested a man for burglary just an hour after he got out of the Pulaski County Jail. They say Jonathan Whitaker broke into a home on Langdon Street in Somerset on Saturday evening. Police say Whitaker had been in the Pulaski County Jail for a charge of criminal trespassing. But now he is charged with burglary, theft, and resisting arrest. Whitaker is now back in the Pulaski County Jail this morning.
Voters in Casey and Boyd counties today are deciding if alcohol sales should be expanded. In Boyd County, the city of Ashland sued the Board of Elections to try and stop today's special election. The city took issue with the wording used on 2 petitions calling for the vote. But a judge ruled today's vote could take place. Polls in both counties are open now and will be open until 6 o'clock tonight.
Well, Donald Trump is heading out to Texas to raise money and rally supporters.
While the controversy over Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server during her time as Secretary of State is still looming over her campaign. Brian Webb has the latest on the presidential campaign.
Appearing on Jimmy Kimmel last night, Hillary Clinton talked about getting ready to debate her Republican opponent.
I am drawing on my experience in elementary school.
Before addressing the latest chapter in her enduring email saga.
We've already released, I don't know, 30,000 plus, so what's a few more?
On Monday, a federal judge ordered the State Department to quickly release close to 15,000 previously undisclosed emails and documents recovered from her private email server by the FBI during their criminal investigation. Clinton campaign aides say they aren't sure what's in the documents, but support all her work-related emails being released. At a campaign event in Ohio, Donald Trump sought to keep the limelight on Clinton's family foundation amid mounting claims its foreign donors got preferential treatment at the State Department during her tenure.
The favors done and the significant number of times it was done require an expedited investigation by a special prosecutor immediately.
The Republican nominee also made a pitch to minority voters.
What do you have to lose? I will straighten it out. We'll get rid of the crime. You'll be able to walk down the street without getting shot.
A new Monmouth University poll finds Clinton leading Trump among Black, Hispanic, and Asian voters 72 to 10%. Brian Webb for CBS News.
Hillary Clinton continues her West Coast fundraising tour with 4 private events today in California. Well, President Obama travels to Louisiana today to survey the damage left behind by devastating floods.
The president has been criticized by many Republicans for not cutting his family vacation short to tour the state. The White House maintains that President Obama's response to the tragedy has proven to be far more effective than the immediate response to Hurricane Katrina.
We'll keep it right here on Mid-Morning. Coming up, a U.S. Olympic gymnast who's spent her career at the mercy of judges now will be the one judging.
And they rolled out the red carpet on the West Coast and the East as a pair of movies make their debut.
Looks pretty good outside right now. A lot of blue sky, and those temperatures are really nice as we go throughout the day today, but that's going to change tomorrow off into the next few days. I'll have that in your forecast coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have a really nice start to the day. Temperatures are there in the 60s down south and 70s elsewhere. I mean, it's a fantastic start. 71 degrees now in Frankfort. Planning on getting the kids out, and you can do it all day long. There is no problem whatsoever. 68 now in Jackson and Breathitt County. A beautiful shot there. As we're approaching fall, you'll start to see that picture change just a bit and start to see those leaves fall. And boy, does it look good out there here in the next month or so. 84 degrees by the afternoon. I don't see any issues today. Low humidity, temperatures there in the low to mid 80s. And we'll finish off the afternoon and evening on a nice note. That means grilling out, no problem whatsoever. Walks around the neighborhood I see is a pretty nice day. Headlines, the next 48 hours remaining mainly dry, not fully dry. So there is a small chance of rain starting tomorrow, and it will be rolling through the weekend. Now, small chances, not great chances. Humidity, temperatures will be on the increase as well. Typically, when you put those together, it typically is kind of a precursor to at least some rain chances later on. The slight chance of rain will be there with us in high school football. I don't see much of an issue, though. Kickoff, heading toward halftime and end of the ball games, no issues. We're sitting there at 80 degrees there at half and upper 70s there, partly cloudy skies toward the end of the game. So high school football looks good to go. You got a green light there on Friday. 7-day forecast breaks down like this. Like I said, tomorrow you're starting off a trend of wet, I don't want to say wet days, but at least wet chances in the forecast. So some rain is in there, but they're very small percentages. And the percentages basically mean this: 20% of us tomorrow will see some rain. The other 80% stays dry. So that just goes to show you it's mainly dry. That's what these percentages mean. 40% chance, 40% of us will actually see some rain there on Thursday. And that means most of us at 60% will stay dry. So that's basically what that means. It just shows that there aren't great chances, but they're there. And the good news is we still aren't worried about any of these chances of rain like we have been the past 5 to 7 weeks.
What, me worry?
Yeah, right.
Really?
Exactly right. Yeah, and so no flooding, no severe weather. Things
really
are looking good. We're all right as we head throughout the next
on
week.
a nice roll. Just look
That's
outside
right.
right now, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, Olympic gymnast Gabby Douglas will be a celebrity judge for the 2017 Miss America competition.
Pageant officials made the announcement. Douglas was the first all-round Olympic gold medalist in U.S. history to earn a spot on a second Olympic team. Musician and Disney actress Laura Marano will also be a judge. The pageant finale will be broadcast live from Atlantic City coming up on September 11th.
Well, you can own a pair of the Gipper's famous cowboy boots.
And Robert De Niro enters the boxing ring. Daniel Nottingham has those stories and more in your Eye on Entertainment.
The stars hit the red carpet in New York last night for the premiere of Hands of Stone, a film that recreates the infamous 1980 Roberto Duran Sugar Ray Leonard boxing match. Robert De Niro plays legendary trainer Ray Arcel, who comes out of retirement to coach Duran. He convinces the fighter that all you need to win is the right strategy. Usher takes on the role of Sugar Ray Leonard. Edgar Ramirez plays Duran.
It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of joy as well.
The blow-by-blow account of the historic match comes to a theater near you Friday. The red carpet was also out for the Los Angeles premiere of Mechanic Resurrection. Jason Statham and Jessica Alba reunite for the sequel to 2011's Mechanic.
You have 36 hours to eliminate all the targets on this list.
Statham portrays retired assassin Arthur Bishop, who's forced back into action when the love of his life, played by Alba, is kidnapped.
I really love action movies. It's kind of like my little secret.
Mechanic Resurrection opens Friday. And a pair of former President Ronald Reagan's cowboy boots go on the auction block next month in New York. Christie's will auction 700 items from Ronald and Nancy Reagan's private collection to benefit his presidential library and museum. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Coming up next, the gift of hearing.
How one Lexington company is helping those in need. Next on WKYT.
Before we head to break now, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $69 million. And tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot is $127 million. We'll be right back on Mid-Morning. Welcome back in. It's mid-morning on WKYT. We're glad you're with us on this beautiful day. Huh?
It is beautiful, yes.
Lexington Company is giving the gift of hearing to those in need.
To learn more about it, we're joined by Lowell Scott, the president and owner of Hearing Solutions. Welcome. Glad to have you here today.
Glad to be here.
Appreciate it. You're telling us about the Starkey Hearing Foundation of Kentucky, and it has a mission here, right?
Yeah, we're trying to fit people that are needing hearing and helping them with their hearing problems. And we have identified around 90 people that have problems in the area and in different areas, so that we're trying to get them to better hearing so they can do better with their hearing.
How did all of this get started?
It started, I've been a part of the Starkey Foundation for a long time and done missions all over the world. And talking with Bill Austin, which is the founder of it, we wanted to do something local, and Brady introduced me to Coach Cal a while ago, and he wanted to do something to help people locally. So we coupled with the Coach Cal Foundation and the Cal Power Foundation, and we found some people that could help with us, and we're utilizing it this coming weekend.
What kind of process do the candidates for this go through to be chosen?
We sent out a lot of emails to all the different schools to try to identify people. We do screenings around, and we run across people that can't afford hearing instruments. We put them on a list to find out, because hearing instruments are expensive, as you know, and some people just can't afford them. So we've been part of that process for a long time, but when we just started identifying more and more, we asked the foundation if they would come out and help with that, and they were more than happy to.
What happens to all of these candidates after the mission?
Well, that's the hard part, is that we're going to help out with them. We've identified a couple companies. One is in Bowling Green, and one is down towards Corbin. It's Southeastern Kentucky Audiology and Tennessee Audibel that are helping us with that, with the follow-up care. So that they're not abandoned. They're going to be there to where they can follow up and make sure they get the care that they need afterwards.
Lowell, do you find that people are stubborn about getting their hearing checked?
Stubborn, I don't know about that, but they don't want to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's
you don't want the bad news, right?
Right. Well, it's kind of like cholesterol. It's a painless disorder, right? So they don't know they have they put it off for a long time. But it really affects the interaction. That's really what you give back to the people, is their connection with their family. I mean, if you think about it, it's because when I don't hear well, I'm isolated. I may be here with you, but when I'm not involved in the conversations and stuff, and that's really what you give them back, that ability to do that, and the ability to earn better incomes and everything. So
really a life-changing gift here.
Yes, it is.
If you'd like more information there about the Starkey Hearing Foundation, we have some websites there, and we really do appreciate you coming in, and it's a wonderful thing you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll keep it right here this mid-morning.
Going to check in with the Mr. Food Test Kitchen next, see what's whipping up here on this Tuesday. Coming up a little later, WKYT News at noon. We'll have an update on the man accused of raping an elderly woman here in Lexington.
The latest on the president's trip to flood-ravaged Louisiana.
And Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte loses 2 more sponsors.
News, weather, and sports ahead at noon on WKYT. Well, the folks in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen say pie doesn't necessarily have to be served on a plate. How about key lime pie in a jar?
It's different. They're portable, they're practical, and perfect for party settings.
You know, here in the Test Kitchen, we love sharing new ways to dish up old favorites. So we thought it would be fun to share a whimsical yet practical way to serve everything from salads to desserts. The idea is to serve up all sorts of stuff right out of canning or mason jars. Rather than putting a salad in a big bowl like we normally would, how cute are these individual chef salads when we make them in a jar? Not only are they super portable, they're easy to dress. Just drizzle it on, cover, and shake. And when it comes to dessert, how fun would it be to put out a bunch of different ones and let everyone grab their favorite? Here we have personal-sized Death by Chocolate, cherry cobbler, and one of my favorites, key lime pie. To make them, all we do is throw together a quick graham cracker crust in the bottom of a mason jar. Then we spoon on an easy no-bake key lime pie filling that we make from scratch. After we finish it with some whipped cream, a slice of lime, and some graham cracker crumbs, we're good to go. You can even make a bunch of these and keep them in the fridge for the next time you get a hankering for something tasty and convenient. The recipe for our key lime pie in a jar is online now, just in time for the dog days of summer. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a unique and fun way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
If you have jars like that.
Or mason jars. You can find them.
That'd be a lot of pie.
If you want to go looking for them, you can find them. They
Throw
were
it in
pretty.
a big bowl, and Bill and I will be okay.
Okay, all right. Jethro bowls on both sides.
Right, exactly. All right, let's check out the weather real quick, and it looks pretty good the rest of the day at 83 degrees. Now, we get off towards your Wednesday. There's a slight chance of rain in the forecast. Most of us stay dry. And then we head off towards your Thursday. Now, Thursday, really tomorrow is when the humidity starts to rise. And typically when you start to feel that humidity rise, typically some rain moves on in, and we'll have that on Thursday. And so that's the best chance of rain in the forecast. It's not a great chance, but is the best chance in the forecast is on Thursday at 40%. Now we head off towards your Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got football games. You have a lot of events going on toward the weekend. And it looks like we're going to be mainly dry. We can't rule out a slight chance of rain, but most of us will be dry heading off towards your weekend. But look at those temperatures. 88 both on Friday and Saturday. That means take advantage of the weather while you can.
Oh, absolutely.
It felt great yesterday.
Yeah.
Really
Looks
did.
like it'll feel all right later on.
It's good right now. All right. Thank you so much for being with us for WKYT Mid-Morning. We hope you're back for our next report coming up at noon.
Your news is always on at WKYT.com. Have a great day.